Greetings and salutations to all you folks out there. We're back for another live cast, and this week the map is Crazy Rush. Now, if you remember last week, we said this was going to be kind of the theme for the week. So I had several people send me replays on this map. I picked one of them that looked pretty good, and we're going to run through it and then play a game on Crazy Rush. This week, it's kind of an oddball map. It's a little bit of a, have fun kind of thing. You can't really have a competitive game on this because it's just so whacked out. But I do want to propose some choices for y'all for the map next week. Some suggestions that I had were the maps Darkfall, Seraphim Glaciers, and Loki 3 versus 3. Those were the three choices we had. Darkfall, I've done a couple of casts on recently. It's a 3v3. Seraphim Glaciers, you guys all know that's a standard map. Came with the vanilla version of the game. It is a very large either 4v4 or 2v2, v2, v2. So it can play out a number of different ways, but it's a larger map. And then Loki 3 versus 3 is Loki with 3 slots on it. So what I want you guys to do is vote. Go to the Twitter link in the bottom and tweet your choice on that. I've already got the choices posted to the feed on there, and just reply to that. And before we start the live game that we're going to play, we'll decide what map we're going to do and announce that, so y'all know what's going on next week. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this game. This is going to be divided along the horizontal axis. So we've got 4 at the top versus 4 on the bottom. Let's go ahead and bump the speed back up and we'll get started here. The rules on Crazy Rush are: you have a single mass extractor, which you do not want to build adjacent to because that mass extractor, when you build it, begins expanding. The 4 sides will become mass extractor buildable points, and when you build those, it expands further and further and further, as you can see here with Pascal. So let's go ahead and introduce the players, and then we'll see where this game takes us. On the left-hand side, we have Achieved Jaguar, and on the south side, we have Death, who is taking Aeon. That was a Cybern choice, by the way. Yova, he is taking Aeon, and then UEF for the aforementioned Pascal. On the north side, we have Overlord, taking Cybern as his faction of choice. Gadanel as Seraphim. Pyzik? That almost looks like Psychic in another language, but I'm not sure. Cannot venture a guess on that one. He's taking Cybern. And Architect taking UEF. So, pretty good selection of the factions. Let's just see where this takes us. I'm actually going to bump the speed up just a tad here while we're in the early portions of the build, and then we'll slow down once things start getting busy. Basically, the goal on this map is to build as much power as is humanly possible, because you will eventually have more mass than you know what to do with, and to build mass extractors all day, every day, because everyone always needs more mass extractors. The only other thing that you need thrown into that equation is factories, because you have to have build power. And honestly, a line of P-gens like this is not a bad idea, because you can build all your factories adjacent to the P-gens, which reduces your power needs, and power is obviously going to be your limiting factor on how much you can build, since you have basically unlimited mass potential. We do have an engineer wandering out towards the front. First thing, he's going to lay down a radar way out in front, and that is actually not a bad idea, because that T1 radar is going to cover a majority of the map. Let's see if I can select the right player here, and we can get a little tab on how big that is. There you go. This is a small map, so that's going to cover most everything and provide blips of information even when the power is flashing on and off. You're going to be able to see when large groups of units start moving your way. So that's going to provide some valuable intel. And honestly, when the fog of war is off, you can also see how many mass extractors there are on the map. So you can kind of get a count on what guys are doing as far as that goes, even though you may not have field of vision on it. Alright, got lots of factories going down for Architect and for, I'm just going to call him Psychic. It is going to be easier to pronounce than that, and if it's incorrect, I do greatly apologize. Got an air factory down and land factories expanding in every direction up there, but Architect is too slow. We've already got Mantis production rolling for Achieved Jaguar. He's going to try to ram those up in there, but there was a UEF ACU in the way. He's going to stand up and beat back those units. Got an L coming in, trying to save this build tower from those artillery. T1 artillery, obviously not a bad choice on this map, because since everything is going to be compacted together, artillery with its area of effect on its attacks is going to do a ton of damage. Potentially, you could take out 2 or 3 mass extractors at a time as you're shooting through those. You can see we've already got T2 mass extractor upgrades going down on these guys. When you have extra mass, that is a good way to burn it. As long as you don't stall, and he's not. He's actually still overflowing. Could drop another couple of mass extractor upgrades at that rate. Artillery moving up towards the north as well. Medusa's going to come into firing range, but I think they're going to miss the first. Nope. They did connect, dodging out to the side, and looks like those are going to have to retreat. So no serious damage done there either. Already got a T2 factory online for Pascal at 5 minutes into this game. You're going to see people tech very, very quickly. T3 units are going to be a huge asset. Honestly, the few times that I've played this map, T4s have not played that much of a role. As you scale up your build power, you just kind of scale up your T3 support factories, and T3 units are usually the best way to go, especially given the close quarters of this map. Aurora's pulling into the center. Those are going to start laying down some fire on the unit streaming in from Psychic. Looks like he is headed over to the right, and more T2 going down. T2 P-Gen going down for Overlord. Let's see, is he the only one on the north side that has T2? It looks like he is, but there's a T2 upgrade going down on the ACU for Architect. On the south side, the Chief Jaguar is also nabbing T2 on the ACU. Looks like we're going to see a little bit of a tank engagement up there, and the only person on the south... Well, nope, there's a T2 factory as well for Death. So the tech is coming. It has not fully hit the field yet, and this is brutal. Pushing Godinel back. He's going to have to quit that upgrade. I don't think he completed it. Nope. Unupgraded ACU. Brought in all of that artillery to start raining destruction upon the head of God, and that pretty much forced him into a situation where he had to come deal with these tanks. Now, even when you're moving in to deal with them, you got to be wary of those Auroras because they do outrange your ACU. You can see how much damage Overlord took in trying to beat back that threat. A lot of P-Gens dying. You got Triads online for Pascal. He's just going to be fortifying the right-hand side so that no units can slip by. All of the T1 units moving over the mid to cover that direction. And then same thing happening on the left. We've got Cerberus turrets going down. Those are going to easily deal with the swarms of T1 that are out here in front of Architect's base. It's basically going to close off this side to advancement. Not a bad strategy at all, because then you can focus all of the players' units into the middle for a spearhead into the northern side. Cerberus turrets coming up on this side, but that is not the best option that you could hope for, because Cerberus versus Triad, I think we all know who wins that one. Cybern has by far the crappiest point defense out there, so really I don't see any redeeming factors in that. Alright, Cerberus turrets doing their work on this side though. The one thing they are good for is killing T1 units. They have a high rate of fire with a high turn speed, which makes them perfect for dealing with weak units. Alright, looks like we're storing up T1 bombers on the north. Lots of air factories going with tons and tons of adjacency, which is pretty much exactly what you want to happen. And here comes bombs. You can see them dropping on those mass extractors, going to take out a huge chunk of the field of Architect's mass. Got a couple missing on the north side as well. Looks like that was one that maybe just he forgot to build. Lots and lots of units dying all across the map, but honestly, not to much consequence. These bombers do need dealt with, though. There's no anti-air anywhere. T1 anti-air being built in the back. That's a little bit of a late response, and the damage is going to be done to some extent. But I guess it's better late than never when you're dealing with a threat that could potentially wipe out all of your economy. So many land factories going down. We're at 8 minutes into the game, and there's already someone at 160 mass income. Psychic up on the north side. Dropped down 2 T2 power generators. Looks like he's got some hives for some extra build power. He is upgrading his mass like a madman. Honestly, that is not the best thing that you could possibly be doing, because a single tac missile can wipe out several of those mass extractors, and honestly, I'm surprised that we haven't seen a tac launcher yet. That is usually something that comes in, and it looks like somebody walked into point defense. That was a suicide by Overlord. He just walked too far out in front. And all of those point defense clustered around in there. You can see why he would die to that. I do not know why he was so far out. Bad choice on his part. T1 bombers coming in, suiciding against these triads. Actually, no, those are Cerberus turrets. Triads are firing upon them. There is a shield generator up, but he does not have enough power to maintain it, which is a quite serious issue when you're having a fire-based war. T1 bombers coming in, those are dropping on the T1 units. It looked like a spread attack order on this would be lethal, because all of those tanks will die in one hit to these bombers. As you can see, they're just large swaths of the force falling away as those bombers connect. I think that was probably 8 units to 1 bomb right there. Not quite up with the record, but definitely a respectable amount. Vipers coming in. This is the Cybern tool for dealing with those pesky stationary defenses. The Viper is pretty much the best in the business up till you get to the T3 mobile artillery stage. And it looks like Psychic was pushing for an early Monkey Lord. At the rate this thing is building, we're probably going to see this guy online at about the 12-minute mark or so. Maybe 12 and a half, because he is stalling now. He does have a T3 power generator up. Mass is the problem, not build power and not power. I mean, he could do a little bit of reclaiming if he got some engineers down to this area. Any amount of mass will make a difference. We do have, was that a SAM I saw? Yes, it is, right there. SAM launcher and T3 point defense going down for Pascal, and that is going to pretty much decisively stomp the right side of the map. T3 point defense outrange mobile missile launchers, and obviously T2 point defense. No amount of shields will hold them back forever, and once Pascal can get a few of them online, that is going to be the end of this entire expansion for Godinel. That is, if he does get his ACU out. If he keeps standing there, that could potentially be lethal. One good thing about having this many T3 point defense online and T2 is that Monkey Lord, should he venture towards the right side of the map, will certainly get obliterated. There is no way on Earth that he could survive that kind of firepower. I don't see any answering T4s on the south side, and with this much T1 online, this is veterancy buffet for a T4 unit. This Monkey Lord could potentially go through the entire left side and wreck everything. Nobody could really do anything to stop it. More power generators going down for Godinel. Of course, when you're in a war like this, you've got to overbuild your power, because if you're reclaiming, that is going to pick up the gap when you're mass stalling, and when you aren't mass stalling anymore, your power consumption goes way up, and that can stall your shields if you're not very careful. I know a lot of times 3 power generators is enough at this stage in the game, but not when you've got this much mass involved. Looks like that Monkey Lord is almost done, and he can proceed southward. Huge group of Mantis to escort him. About the only thing he doesn't have is anti-air coverage, but when the south team is really not building any air whatsoever, got a handful of interceptors and 1 Swiftwind, not a whole lot of point in taking unnecessary precautions. Alright, now we get to see how this team will deal with the T4. They lost 1 player early, but they may have just held everyone off long enough to stick this Monkey Lord way up where it does not belong. Looks like Jaguar's still attempting to get some artillery down, something to stop this UEF offense. This Monkey Lord is going to vet so quickly, already almost to its first vet. This is where you should be control K-ing everything in its path, because it is just going to keep getting more health. These people were at -4. I feel so bad for them. I wonder who had the slow CPU. It's okay. We'll keep cruising right along at this pace. Do not forget to use the Twitter link at the bottom to vote on the next map, because I think within about 5 minutes here we're going to be announcing a map for next week and then playing our live game. That's he should be overcharging like a madman. I don't know if he's in range or not. Probably not. He doesn't have the gun upgrade because he has T2. That Monkey Lord is just trampling the base. Come on, overcharge, friend. Nope, he's dead. That is going to leave that Monkey Lord at very nearly full health with one player down. We got a GC started by Death, but I don't think there's any way that he could ever finish that on time. Thankfully, there are tons and tons of Oblivion turrets over here. I do believe there is enough firepower here to drop that Monkey Lord in its tracks, but Death had better get a move on running away. Otherwise, that Monkey Lord is going to overtake him. Alternately, he could dive in face first and overcharge that son of a gun a couple times and weaken it up for that point defense. Do these guys have vision? That is the question. Yes, they do. Well, of course, while he is sitting in the middle of all those buildings. Stupid Brink, what were you thinking? Of course they have line of sight. And here comes the Oblivion turrets bearing down on that Monkey Lord. There is an absolutely terrifying amount of DPS that can be brought online by Aeon T2 point defense. This is where they're at their prime. The low rate of fire does not matter when you have a single large target to knock out. In fact, it is perfect to be front-loaded. Will he make it? No! Crap, that is 2 players down. That makes it a 2 versus 3. And what have we here but an Awasa? Looks like we're going for the T4 bomber solution along with a megalith that's half built. Holy cow. The northern team went straight for the tech option. Now there is a dead Monkey Lord down here and a buttload of reclaim on the left side. So these guys could get enough T4s online to counter that if they start immediately. I think intel is a problem. Yes, it is. They do have enough radar up that looks like a T2 radar to get everything in sight, and I am so sorry for nabbing that speed control. But there is no intel on that Awasa, and unless they start building Sam's El Pronto by the dozens, that Awasa is going to wreak an enormous amount of havoc on this side of the map. Pascal trying to throw down a T3 PGen. You can see he is power stalling quite ferociously, pulling in 332 mass per tick, and I don't think he has resource allocation. This would definitely be one time that you would want this upgrade. Costs slightly more than a T3 PGen, makes a little bit more power than a T3 PGen, and it has the mass income. You really can't go wrong with it. Should always have RAS if you're not getting all available combat upgrades on your commander. That is the backpack drone. I don't think I've ever seen anyone in any kind of competitive game actually get the backpack drone upgrades. I mean, you see them at the very, very beginning of the game sometimes when you have drones running to the other side of the map, because obviously your shoulder drones do have the T1 build suite, so you can drop factories around and use them as expansion tools. But I don't think I've ever seen anyone have the drones past about 15 minutes. And this is 1652, and he is eking out every bit of build power that he can muster with that upgrade. T2 artillery coming online, that is obviously going to help him out tremendously versus this mess. But again, that bomber has me worried. What are these guys going to get up to solve this situation? We do have commanders coming out. Those are build power upgraded commanders, not Rambo comms. So after build power, very, very interesting. Fat Boy going down. That could be of assistance. It is going to outrange the T3 mobile artillery that is kind of creeping up on the left side. He can position that Fat Boy way over here and do pretty dang well for himself, but this is going to be tight. The Megalith is online. Once it wanders into the range of this T2 artillery, though, that is going to go down very, very quickly. We've got 8 Clink Hammers, which is no small force. submersibles coming online. No bricks, however. All the mass is in that megalith, and we're just about 3/4 of the way through that Owasso. Megalith closing on this group. Of course, the megalith and the T3 point defense have almost exactly the same range. I think they do have the same range. So if you get in range of the T3 point defense, the T3 point defense is also in range of you. So you want to move in slowly, killing the point defense as you go, because if you just walk in, then you're going to come in range of a lot of them at one time. And obviously these guys pack a punch. Quite the vicious punch. As you can see, the health dropping off that megalith. These clink hammers need to be retargeted over there, but it looks like he is going to keep firing northward. There goes the Fat Boy. Fat Boy and clink hammers together would be able to drop that megalith pretty easily if it was retargeted. Let's see. Yes, they are well within range of every single one of those clink hammers. Come on, guys. Focus. Focus fire. Got two Ravagers left over here. And there's the Galactic Colossus. Finally going to get the T4 online. Move, buddy. Fat Boy shield dropping. That is power problems at work for you, folks. No! One more shot in the back, and that guy is dead. Looks like the retreat is going to be sufficient. That's sniper bot fire? Or Obsidians? No, it was not sniper bots. Yes, it was, right back there. Assisting to drop that megalith in its tracks. Well, there's another tasty bit of reclaim. These guys can grab. T1 bombers coming in on the commander, and the T3 power generator nearly dropping that P-gen in one pass. I would be targeting the power generator. Power generator, loss of power is a huge blow to your economy, and the commander can pretty easily dodge T1 bombers if he so chooses. Flat cannon going down. All those bombers could have dropped that T3 P-gen, but instead they're going to not quite kill the commander and all die. So yeah, that's the kind of thing, if you're 100% certain that you can kill the commander, then kill the commander. But if you're not completely sure and you do have enough firepower to kill something valuable inside the base, you should pass up on the cheap shot at the commander that is probably going to fail anyway and do some lasting damage. Oh, holy smokes. The entire mass grid for Pascal. Literally every single mass extractor in one bomb. That is what makes the Owasso such a brutal tool on any map, and definitely on this one. Pascal went from 300 plus mass income to 7 in about 3 seconds. And there goes the bomb. That is pretty much instantaneous GG. Like, how do you even come back from that? Sams are going to start working their magic on this Owasso, hovering right off the edge of the map. I mean, there's the reclaim. They've got a lot of mass income right there. Pascal dropping 600 plus numbers strictly off the reclaim on that, but there we go, using his Rambo comm to drop T3 power generators, or not T3 power generators, T3 mass extractors as quickly as he can. That one moving up north, GC up north, and the Owasso kind of just fluttering around, not really sure where to head at this point. There are SAMs building all over the place, of course, because these guys have seen the damage potential of that unit, so they've got to do something. This is where you need to drop everything and build mechs. Definitely what you got to do. Owasso coming in for a drop on that shield, going to take out the P-gen there and loop back around. 19k health remaining. If he can kill a wide enough group of units, he can get another vet. I would drop a bomb there and try to kill this entire grouping. With all those T2 units, that would be an easy veterancy, maybe 2. And that would restore the health on that bomber. But he is going to drop on the shield again. The interesting thing about that Aeon T2 shield, it has a recharge time that is the same as the cycling time on the Owasso. So by the time the Owasso loops back around, that shield is back up, and the shield takes all the damage from the Owasso. And he's going to get shot at some more. 4,000 health, probably going to get dropped. And I do see the Soul Ripper. I'm a little more concerned about that, so guys. Alright, now let's focus on the Soul Ripper. Trying to take out that Galactic Colossus. Unfortunately, there is no anti-air support at all. That GC is going to just tromp back into the base, try to do as much damage as he can before he gets wiped out, and maybe he can pick up a veterancy or 3. If you move this way, he could kill some of those. Ah, T3HQ. That is a wise target indeed. Lots of pretty lights. Tons of fireworks hitting those shields. Nawasa's still hanging at the back there. It is regenning, but regenning slowly. Still under 4,000 health. Looks like he is going to head for those units. Just as I mentioned, anytime you have the opportunity to pick up that much veterancy, watch this. We're about to get another 15,000 health on this Awasa. Boom! Man, I called it. Almost exactly 15,000 health. That was pure luck. I had no idea what the veterancy number is, by the way. That was a wild guess that I pulled. So, yeah. Anyway, Fat Boy coming in. That is going to provide the backup fire for those Percivals. And the Percivals and Fat Boy combined are going to drop that commander. The only one left standing is Pascal, who is admittedly quite fortified. But I don't know if he's going to be able to stand against the onslaught. We've got enough Percivals here to drop the 1 or 2 Rambo comms that he does have. We have a Fat Boy to counter a Fat Boy. Megalith coming in. No, there's no way Pascal's going to survive this. Bomber coming in. That drop's going to eliminate the shielding. Soften up this target for the Ripper and Megalith to follow. Megalith going to skirt back around, and there goes the commander. I'm not sure if that was a Control K or an actual kill. I kind of tend to think that it was a Control K, but I do not blame him whatsoever, because that is what we now know is a hopeless situation. Alrighty, that was a game on Crazy Rush. Obviously, it scales very, very quickly. And it can bring some interesting times. We're going to play a game on it. This is going to be for anybody who comes, first come, first serve. And I actually need to check out and see if we got any votes on the Twitter feed. That is going to decide what we are playing. If not, I will make an executive decision. Okay, looks like we are doing Loki 3 versus 3. Let's do that one for this week. You can pick it up in the game vault. Let me get out of here, and before we host it, I will show you where to find it. This should give y'all a little bit something different. Go to Vaults, type in Loki 3v3, and tap that enter key. There you go. There's the map. Bam. So we got a triple spawn right here, and you can run all around the map just like you normally would. There are a couple of mass extractors added, but not too terribly much. It pretty much sticks to the traditional lay of the land. Honestly, I'm not sure how it's going to play with 3 versus 3. I haven't seen a replay on it yet, but this will get a new map out there, something for you guys to play, something to experiment with. Download it, host it up, see what happens. Send me the replay if you have a good game, and we will look at one of those next week. All right, let me jump over here into Find Games, and we'll host one. We're going to do, what have we been doing? 500 to 1800. And we are going to do Crazy Rush. Been a while since I played on this map, so I am probably going to be terrible at it, but we will do it anyway and see what happens. All right. Looks like we are in the right place. I'm going to go random factions. We're going to set up random spawns. We're going to do top versus bottom, just like we saw a minute ago. And I need to turn full share off. There we go. Share till death. Bingo. And as always, guys, if you do end up on the other team, please be a gentleman and shut the stream off so that you're not getting free intel. And holy crap, I changed the map. Let's see. Crazy Rush.
Group disbanded. Group formed.
I'm not sure who all is in here that does not have it.
Disbanded. Group formed.
Let's see.
Group disbanded.
I can't see. I give up. I may need to just rehost it. So many people. Holy cow. I think we may have crashed the lobby. Okay. I think we're just gonna... I need to rehost, because if I launch this with people who don't have the map, then it is not going to go well. So, rehost. Crazy Rush. Thanks, Dan. And I gotta reset my options. Okay. Random spawns. Fog of War on. Share till death. Okay. Random factions. Alright. Waiting for people to jump back in here.
Group
Let's
formed.
see.
Group
Gotta
formed.
fish back through the comments here, because as always, I've got comments way over on the other screen and I get all wrapped up in that cast and I don't see what's going on.
Group
Ah,
formed.
Bella's in the comments. People getting confused about daylight savings time. Ah, that's funny. At least you were an hour early and not an hour late, because then you didn't miss the cast. Thank you, Orbital Potato. By the way, if you guys have been liking the potato cast, there is another one coming out tomorrow. We're going to be releasing that. I think it's going to hit at 1 p.m., I believe. Yes, Eastern United States time, and that would be 6 p.m. in the UK. So, yeah, there's going to be another Paracast coming out. You guys will have 2 games to watch from us tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead next up here, and we will see what happens. I am not getting involved with resorting the players in here, because that would just get way too crazy. If you're in a slot, you're playing, and that's all I can do. I'm sorry. Again, if you do end up in the game on the other team, please, please, please turn the cast off. Be a gentleman. And the last one is Jaguar. Actually, come to think of it, I have casted Achieve Jaguar twice now, and he's going to be in this game. Around for everything. I got a lot of crap from people for my Zaphod. I can't kick the observers because there's too many of them. Like, it's glitched out. And I can't launch. Ah, there it went. Okay, good. So many people. I don't think I've ever seen that many in the observer slot. Usually it stops it when there's 2, but I guess because there were so many people that were joining at the same time, it just kind of all crashed in together. Okay. Looks like I am the front guard on the right side, and I did get the luck of the draw Seraphim. So we're going to lay down a land factory here, drop our mass extractor, and immediately begin spamming the ever-living daylights out of power generators. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do there. Looks good to me. All right, we're going to go with that. My commander is strictly going to be on power generator duty. Then we're going to spam infinite engineers from this factory and begin building mass extractors. And then as soon as I get 2 engineers building mechs, then I'm going to start my factory spam, because I got to get as many factories online as I can as quickly as possible, because obviously I'm on the front line here. I'm going to get hit very fast, very hard. I don't know who my opponent is. Let's see what we got for teammates here. We got Yeager, we've got Jupiter, and last but certainly not least, Seath, or however you pronounce that. As you all know, I am the butcherer of names, if not other players. So, no offense to anybody if I absolutely slaughter the pronunciation of your favorite screen name. All right, second engineer coming out, and then we will redirect our factory. Just as a friendly reminder for people who may not know, one of the little finer points of strategy in this game. You can actually direct the path that your factories will take if you swap the move order to the other side. Units will produce facing that direction and not have to turn around once they come out the factory. As you can see, the engineer popping out right there. So that can save you a lot of walking time on your units. And if you swap as the unit is queuing up in the factory, it will go to that side. After the unit has started building, if you swap sides, then the unit has to turn around, and it actually turns around in the factory. So just keep that in mind when you're building stuff. Try to get your units pointed in the right direction as they're coming out of the factory, and it'll save you a little bit of time. Okay, enough ramblies. Let's go ahead and point that there. We're going to build one more engineer, and then we are going to start on tanks. We're actually going to do one engineer, 3 tanks out of this factory on repeat. Then we're going to do tank, scout, and 4 more tanks on this one on repeat. So that way we're going to have a couple of scouts and a couple of engineers mixed in, and oh boy, I have a helpful teammate. He is actually going to stick a land scout up there, and this scout is one of the ones that has cloak and stealth. He completely turns invisible except to Omni if he just stands still for long enough. So he's going to stand there and throw a nice little radar circle on that side. And here we go with the power problems. I now have more mass than I have power. So we're going to put one engineer on mech building duties and one engineer to assist my ACU on my power build. All right. More build power. That is what we need. I'm not going to attack quite yet. Actually, I am. I'm going to go snipe off this engineer that has dared to wander into my domain. Yes, I do actually consider this entire map my domain. That looks like a scout, possibly a lab. Why are you building power generators way out there, my friend? That's not a safe place for an engineer to be. Looks like he's trying to zigzag in between my shots to get close enough to reclaim, but that is not going to happen. I will not allow it. I'm going to go ahead and move in and zap that scout and then retreat before any other units can come into firing range. I'm going to chill back this way and wait for them to come to us. Little bit of harassment. That is an ACU, judging by the move speed, so we're going to point all our units right here and start this one on infinite artillery. Not a bad thing to be building on this map. Alright, ACU's done. We're going to walk him out to front. Use him for our combat solution. Where is my other engineer? We're going to take that one and begin building power. Drop an energy storage for our overcharge and then more power. We're going to take this guy and queue up some more of these lovely mass extractors that we all so dearly enjoy. Okay, looks like we're about ready to do some damage here. We got a nice little clump of tanks up. We're going to go ahead and queue up infinite tanks on that one as well. And the next factory, I will start queuing anti-air. And we're going to begin walking in. So Bizzle is right on the front line. It looks like he does not have any upgrades. Of course, neither do I. But I have twice as many tanks as he has. So this is not going to go well for him. I keep laying down damage on his ACU, move over in this direction. We'll try to do a little bit of damage to his economy and possibly build power, and move in, try to be as deadly as we can. Looks like his teammate's coming in to help him. How dare you be helpful? How dare you save your teammate from death? Alright, I'm going to have to back off just a little bit. Looks like a lot of units coming in. Throw down a ping, maybe somebody will help me. Looks like green is coming in for the assist. So we're going to go ahead and move up in this direction and begin laying down damage on the build power. Looks like a second ACU coming in. That is another commander that I have to deal with, and I hate that. Always aggravating. So I'm going to get back before I get double teamed. Do not want to die at this early stage of the game. Check back at our base. Do up some more of these mass extractors. Power generator span still looks good. We have another factory online, so we're going to queue up tank anti-air artillery on that one. Back all our units off so they aren't needlessly rushing in to die. And looks like we're in a fairly good place. I'm actually going to pull back now. We have established our presence, and our teammate actually got some tanks in the back to do some extra damage. in the rear quarter of the base. Gonna cue this engineer over in that direction. Sad we lost that one, and we're gonna throw down a gun upgrade. This will be fun. We're gonna go ahead and try to wipe out this side of the map. If I can get that gun upgrade done quick enough, then I may be able to surprise these guys and get that win easily. Move over here, stop these guys. That is one of the sad things about this. You can't actually build where your friendlies' units are. I'm gonna redo those so they're all on one order. I think I'm just gonna bite the bullet on the power stall. Actually, I'm gonna pause my factories. That is going to let me get this upgrade done a heck of a lot quicker, and we'll store up some mass in the bank for a little bit later on. Pull that engineer back. Don't die. Don't. Ah, crap. All right. Pull our Q back. I need radar. When you're done, you're going to build a radar. And then you're going to go on a reclaim spree. Reclaim spree, the predecessor of a shopping spree in Supreme Commander. Alright, what's getting pinged? Lots of units. Surprisingly, I have not seen a single air unit this entire game, which is very, very, very strange. We have any Aeon? We have no Aeon. Yay! No mercies! I have nothing to worry about in the T2 air phase except for bomber snipes, which admittedly can be terrible, but we're not going to worry about it at this stage. Alright, let's unpause all of our factories and see what our power does. Still plus 99, which is semi-respectable. Let's actually finish that and then go assist these guys in building yet more power. Okay. ACU gonna move in for the kill here. Let's move up and Q in that direction. More tanks. T1 for the win. Overcharge. Always handy. Why are all of these units on my side of the map? That's what I want to know. Go off that point defense. Alright. Lots and lots of units coming in. I think I will have plenty to deny this, though. That is a T2 commander building T1 point defense, which is why they're going up so quickly. Not exactly the best thing to have happening, but I think we'll be fine. Let's go ahead and plant... I misplaced that overcharge. It's okay! 4 kills on it. Not bad at all. Go ahead and move all this guys up in here. Why are you focus firing my commander? That is not what you should be doing. That means all of your units are going to get slaughtered. T1 point defense are out of the way. Let's go ahead and move up. We got a veterancy on our commander, which means he is going to be highly survivable. Let's move in. We've lost our radar, which is kind of unfortunate, but I think it'll be okay. As long as these units keep moving forward, we'll be fine. We just need to make sure that these T2 point defenses do not get established. Once we have started the push, we need to finish the push. Let's go ahead and move over. We need to bring more factories online with production. Cue those there. Let's start a T2 mass extractor upgrade since we have extra mass, and another one since we have more extra mass. Don't want to start too much to where we actually start stalling on our resources, but alright, I think we're getting to the point now where it's going to start getting dangerous. I need to start teching. Let's stop and do T2 and some engineers. We have plenty of power, so let's go start on that. And one more mass extractor upgrade. We're going to pull the ACU back, continue streaming the units to cover our front, but we need to start teching in order to be ready for the battle to come. Let's go ahead and hit another T2 mass extractor and queue up some more of these lovely mass extractor points all the way around the outside edge. Alright, I think we're sitting in a relatively good position. There is a lot of reclaim on this side, which is unfortunate, but I think we'll be okay. Let's go ahead and queue these guys over on this side. There's a few artillery in there, which means that there will be some damage to the eco. We're going to grab some reclaim for as long as we can, and then we'll just have to prepare. Let's draw these engineers over. Those are too close anyway. Alright, we're finally in the negative mass numbers, which is kind of surprising. Reclaim all you can, good buddy. Alright, this is going to be a successful run by up here. Okay. Snag that and run. Alright, get out of dodge. Lots of damage to those up there. We have eliminated a lot of eco on that side, thankfully. Gonna swing back here and plant myself in front of this base. We're gonna throw down another radar. And there's our T2 engineer. So we're gonna send him to the back, actually. We're gonna throw down 1, 2 of those. Actually, let's move him in line so we're not blocking more than is necessary. And yeah, that'll work. And let's go down this way and start some T2 power generators. That'll work. We're going to queue that up there. Now we have T2 units to deal with. Luckily we have overcharges. And that is exactly what overcharges were made for, eliminating T2. We can stand very well for ourselves. Yeager also has the gun upgrade. He's on the south side watching our back. He is under an upgrade, so he's not mobile at the moment. Let's see, all of our stuff is headed in the wrong direction. Overcharge that, and we are about to be in a bit of a spot. Alright, come on, build. Good deal. Got those Ilshivas on our side. Just gonna move up there. Looks like we do have triads creeping up, which is highly, highly unfortunate. We do have some mobile missile launchers there. Gonna help out. These guys need to be building at a ferocious pace, otherwise we're going to get plowed under here. Come on, back up. That T2 point defense creep is real. Alright, where are some engineers? ACU is almost back up to full health. We got 4 veterancy at this point. So yeah, I'm racking up on 16,000 health. Survivable ACU if ever there was one. Which I am taking quite a bit of fire as well, but that is okay. I'm gonna start backing up now. We're going to start feeding them units again. As long as I present them tastier targets than my commander, I think we'll be fine. And once these start coming online, that'll start forcing the battle back in our favor. Alright, I spy an unfinished shield generator. Let's pop that sucker. And it looks like he is going to get it up though. Ah, well. Back up. No sense in dying. Kill off that mobile missile launcher that dared to enter our presence. And we're going to retreat. Still on 8,000 health, which is not bad. Let's see how our other guys are doing. Reasonably good, actually. Looks like we are okay. Architect, obviously, at the top of the scoreboard by a pretty long shot. He's UEF, so I don't think we have to worry about any kind of ferocious rush. And we've got to pull back here. Go on a patrol order and try to get some of this reclaim up. Let's drop 2 more upgrades. And get these guys on build duty with the engineer. There we go. Okay. Yeager's still on upgrade. What are you upgrading, man, that is taking so long? There's a T3 unit. A loyalist, in fact. Alright, so we forced back our oppressors. Let's go ahead and hit up a shield gen right here. And then assist that commander who we're going to put under an upgrade. Let's do T2. Sadly, there are mobile missile launchers coming online. I think that's them right there, all in that clump. So we're going to target that artillery on it and hopefully take them all out in a couple of shots. T2 point defense is going to go down, which is highly unfortunate, but with the shield coming online in just a second, I don't think we'll have anything to worry about. Units coming over on this side, and we do have some air up. That is the T3 land factory. Thankfully, everything is scouted. So kudos to our teammates who have been doing very well for themselves. I am sadly positioned on the scoreboard. This is actually quite atrocious. We'll see what happens as things move on. Honestly, this is one of those situations where I don't think we would do badly with the second gun upgrade on Seraphim if it weren't so dang expensive. Alright, we got 2 artilleries now. We can target both of those up here where I am 98% sure the mobile missile launchers are. Bam! That's what I'm talking about. Knock those guys down a peg. Let's hit those. Those are also stationary and look like they're in the proper firing range. And get those pegged off. Alright, we got T2. Let's go ahead and drop the... why not? We'll get that one up. We're a little bit low on power, but nothing too terrifyingly bad. I'm gonna go ahead and bite the bullet and grab the upgrade. Okay, making progress, making progress. Someone spies a chicken. Oh no! Not the T1 bombers. I need scouts in a bad kind of way. Alright, so we're going to... Alright, bombers are taken care of. We're going to build a air factory. Yes. We're going to build some mass extractors. Yes. Which unfortunately we cannot drag, but I do realize that that is kind of a limitation placed on it by the engine, which is totally understandable. And T3 mobile artillery is absolutely obliterating the face off of my stuff. So we need a scout to figure out where those T3 mobile artilleries are. And that is a fat boy, my friends. We are screwed.
Commander under attack.
That is what you get for not scouting. Crap. Well, I'm toasty fried. Bye. I'm running. Nothing I can do about that. I'm taking all my T2 engineers with me. He is just going to plow ahead full speed on that one. And no reason not to, because there is nothing that I can do to stop that. Ah! I hate it when that happens. But it is my own fault. I have no one to blame but myself because I was not scouting. All T2 mass extractors, he sat in the back while these guys turtled up on the front and then started a fat boy. Sad development, but it cannot be avoided. Alright, I'm going to pull back everything. I'm going to try to get, let's see, I do have this upgrade. So I can stop here. And let's build something fun. That. And that. Is that all of his T2? I think it is. Okay. And then let's do this number. Maybe I can land a couple of hits on that. See what happens. And that is a Monkey Lord. Man alive. They all went for T4s. Holy cow. That is not good. Not good at all. Everybody went for a T4 rush except for us. Apparently that was how this game was supposed to go, and I did not get the memo. Is he moving the fat boy? No, it is still stationary. Okay, so we're still lobbing missiles at this thing, which hopefully are connecting. I have a fair little bit of eco left. My power's online, and I have a lot of reclaim potential. Just a matter of whether it happens or not. Nope, missiles are getting hit before they connect. So we're going to stop that. Let's get the nano regen upgrade. We're going to be able to get very, very quickly. Hopefully this will give us a little bit of combat ability. I have full veterancy, which is going to scale up my health enormously. We're just going to sit here as long as we can. Try to get this upgrade and then walk in. I think we can one-on-one the Monkey Lord once I get that nano regen boost, because I'm already on 20,000 health. Jupiter, this wasn't even fun. Well, you know what would actually be a good idea on this? Oh, what? Was that attack launch? That was, wasn't it? That was. That had to have been. That's the only thing that could have killed me that quickly. Saying sorry, you were a nice guy. Oh, there it is right there. 6 tack launchers. I was just in range. Anyway, what I was going to say, this map might be loads of fun if you limited it to like only tier 1 and tier 2. Because tier 1 and tier 2 is where the most variety of units are. And the tier 1 units can reasonably compete with tier 2 units, but T3 makes the previous 2 tiers completely obsolete. So that might play out well. There goes the last commander. I don't know, should I rehost it with that? Should I rehost with T1, T2 only? That actually might be fun. I'm going to do it. We have been online for less than an hour. I'm going to rehost Crazy Rush with T3 and T4 locked out. And we'll see what happens. This could be fun. The more that I think about this, the more I like this idea. All right, we're going to go to options. We're going to go to restrictions. We're going to do no tech 3, no experimental. I think I'm going to leave everything else as fair game. Tac snipes are in. We got Artie in. Yeah. I think we're going to do it this way.
Group formed.
All right.
Group formed. Group formed.
It's okay, Speedy. I kind of deserved it for standing still that long, honestly. Halo Sniper Rifle saying T2 point defense war
Group
will happen.
formed.
Well, that's a part of life, but see, what's going to happen there is T2 point defense is hands down trumped by Viper spam. So the mobile missile launchers are going to
Group
win if you
formed.
get into a T2 point defense creep war. I mean, I can lock that out, but I don't know. That seems to be getting a little crazy with the restrictions. Let me get back through. Robert does not have the map. That is why he's not connecting. And I can't kick him. That was weird. Okay. Let's look at these restrictions again. Let's see. We can do... There are no... There isn't a no point defense option. If you do no T2, if you only do T1 wars, then T2 point defense isn't an option. But I think we're just going to launch like this. No Tech 3, no experimental. So Ravagers are off the table. T4s are off the table. Yeah. All right. Architect. That's what happens when you get us to practice on a map. Yeah, I had that one coming to me. People in the last week have refined their builds. All right. See if we can get him out of here so we can actually launch. I'm going to have to rehost because of this if he is not... Ah, there we go. I can move into Observer. Couldn't kick him, but I can move into Observer. That works. All right. Launch ahoy! If Captain Yang will X. There we go. Ah. Come on. I gotta rehost. Oh well. I don't understand what was going on there, but whatever. Quick rehost. Get this back on track. The Aeon Stun ACU. Actually, the Chrono Dampener would be a hilarious option with this. I did not even think about that. No Tech 3, no experimental. Okay.
Group formed. Group formed.
One more time.
Group formed. Group formed. Group formed.
Yeah, I think Architect has it figured out. Because, like, if the front guys spam and or point defense creep, which locks down pretty much progress on the entire map, and then the back two players eco
Group
and then start
formed.
launching T4s, the other team really can't
Group
stop it
formed.
unless they already have something prepared. So it just kind of throws a wrench in the works for everybody. Okay, ready to launch. This is basically going to boil down to Ilshivas versus point defense versus Vipers. Baby Pock is not readying, so we are going to move him to Observer. Because I know Sharp Sword's going to get in and X immediately. We want to get this game on the road. There we go. All right. Yes, yes. Peanuts commenting on my snipe death. Yeah, I stood still for too long. I was under an upgrade. There were 6 tack launchers on the table, and I got cyber and tack missiled to death. Seraphim, twice in a row. Is that truly random? I suppose it can be, because theoretically, on random odds, you could roll a die and get 100 times in a row, and it would still be random. But at that point, yeah, it's kind of getting up there into weird territory. The early builds on this map are very, very strange, because you have an infinite ability to build both power generators and mass extractors. So if you build too much of one or the other, you will stall with the one you didn't build enough of. So it's just kind of, I don't know. I still haven't figured out a good way to do this. I'm going P-gens first, which probably means that I'm going to horrifically mass stall. But I don't know. I would kind of rather just the inner being that dictates how I behave myself in games says that I would rather mass stall than power stall. But at the same time, can't bring enough online. I don't know. I'm not going to worry my head about the hypotheticals. We're just going to jump into this and get the job done. I will, however, stop power build on that because, yeah, that was getting a little bit excessive. Okay. Looks like we've struck a reasonably good balance. We're plus 13 on power, minus 9 on mass. I think we can start bringing factories online in just a second. I think I'm just going to break directly for T2 because I do have Ilshevas as an option. And now we're power stalling. See there, we've tipped the balance. We're now power stalling more than mass stalling. Okay. So second factory going to come online. Let's go ahead and stop that one and go for T2. Maybe a bit early. We're going to do it anyway. That's how we roll. Okay. Well, we're closer to the top of the scoreboard this time, so I think we made the right decision, at least in a couple of areas. Go ahead and move that one over there. I'm going to do a T2 engineer first off the assembly line, which is going to let us get tac defense up and T2 power up, and after that we can just start hardcore T2 spam. That's pretty much going to be the solution to all of our problems. Let's get some more mass extractors queued up. Anytime we can queue up a mass extractor, it is a good time to do so. When you have free time, that's when you need to be using your APM to the max. And now we're having power issues. Ugh. 8 P-gens was not enough. Sitting on 180 power income. I'm going to have to do some power building here. Dropping on the scoreboard. I mismanaged that one. Got a little bit of an engagement on the right side. Holy cow, somebody has a naming mod. That's going to be a sea of names by the end of this. If we can get that T2 P-gen online, it will be much, much, much easier to balance these things out. It's going to take that little bit to get there. Come on. Build the engine. You can do it. Alright. As soon as that engineer comes out, we're going to drop that power generator and then immediately start on our factory span. We're going to go ahead and start Ilsheva production right now because, of course, we need as much of a head start on that as possible. Alright, P-gen. Shield. Then we've got tac defense. Then we go back for more P-gens. And then we go for shielding and P-gens all the way around. Now let's just hope that engineer doesn't die. Because if it does, I'm going to lose that entire build queue. Alright, let's assist all these guys over there. And then we're going to move ACU to front. Drop another engineer on here. They're actually going to straight up build T2 support factories. I would upgrade a mass extractor, but we just don't have the power right now. As soon as that PGen comes online, we'll be able to do that. Here comes the Ilshevas. Bring those out front with my commander. We'll be able to do a little bit of good, hopefully. Already a commander out front with a Rhino. Looks like we're on track with everybody else in this game. We have to get that T2 NG out and go back to Ilsheva production. Move our Ilshevas over to the side to help out here. Not a good situation to be in. Oh, show. Alright. T2 support factories going down by the dozen, quite literally. We'll go ahead and tag some production in there. And Ilsheva's coming online. Kite these suckers back. Gotta use that range to the max. Although they are versus Auroras, which is a bit of a problem. We're gonna go ahead and dive in. Might as well get in range and take out as many as we can. There we go. Nice. Snag T2 upgrade. And then we can start on our mass extractor upgrades. So many queues to make. There are Aeon on the other side, which means that at some point we're probably going to see Mercies. Man, one Ilsheva dead. The other one's got 11 freaking kills on it already. Ilshevas are beastly. Finally start scaling up our production here. Go the rest of those to assist. Stop on that. Go T2 support and start some T2 engineer production. Finally moving back into the power stall again. I think I'm going to build a shell around the ACU that is going to assist with protecting myself. Let's see. Lots of losses up here to those T1 bombers, which are now starting to harass all over the place. So we are going to go for Mobile Flak being the first unit out. Going to allow us to eliminate that mess. Ah, T1 bombers on that. Okay. That's okay. We are going to drop an anti-air right there and then go back to assisting. Drat. And there went my engineers. Well, now we get to start over again. At least we have a few under the protection of the shield. So not all of them are going to go down. So as you can see, we're not completely stalled out on mass. So no huge loss there. We're going to go ahead and move our units over to this side. And queue that way. Let's see. It's so difficult to click in here. Can't click and drag and it snaps too. It's horrendously annoying. Okay. I spy point defense, which is about to die. back up before I die out there. Why do I have a Yenzin? That's my question. Okay, now it's fixed. And I have my mass back, so we can start a T2 point defense. Brilliant. It's going to come down to production ultimately. Production and where we place our stuffs. Happy thinking King Solitaire. That naming mod, I don't know what the deal is with it, but it is ridiculous sometimes. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and upgrade a couple of mass extractors. Let's go ahead and get a shield down over our heads. It's gonna prevent us from dying a horribly painful death in an untimely manner. And of course, that's when the units are gonna start coming in. And I'm going to have to retreat. Actually, let's build T1 point defense, because that sounds like a better way to go. Versus Auroras, that's going to lay down all the DPS we could ever want and slaughter these suckers where they cannot do anything about it. I got my wish. To what is he referring? Oh, he's coming in with the gun upgrade. Well then. Chrono Dampener alert. Ha. Well, that's going to make life difficult. And it's going to constantly keep my units stunned. Which is highly, highly, highly annoying. And no! Okay, I've got the T... Oh, crap. And I... up. Where's my T2 engineers? Move to the back. Stop it. Alright, we're gonna be safe here. I have got to get a shield over this mess. Problem is that if I shield it completely, then I can't really build. It's a pain. Oh, my factory stopped too. Why didn't I grab all those? Okay. ECU's getting forced back, hopefully. Sharp Sword is dead. There's nothing you can do about it. Get out! Get out! Down to 2,000 health. Hopefully I will have enough point defense down. They're still going to get around the outside edge. No, don't quit. Second game is just disintegrating. I had hoped for so much more out of this. The lapses in judgment are coming fast and loose. Let's see. I am very, very tempted to say that that was a rage quit. I hate to call people out when I can't absolutely verify it, but he's almost dead, he's losing, and he disconnects. Like, he's on 1,000 health. Theoretically, he could have gotten that. It's just, yeah. So dumb. So very dumb. Okay.
Commander under attack.
Let's go ahead and throw down a couple of flak. Why are these units not moving? Oh crap. Now I'm gonna have issues. Alright. Gotta get around this outside edge with enough T2. And I should be able to block all this off. I'm gonna leave this point defense in placement. I'm gonna move over to this side in order to do some more damage. My shields are up, which kind of helped a little bit, but not enough. Okay, T2 bombers coming in for my teammates. That is helpful. Very, very helpful. Gotta kill this tank, and then we should be able to do some damage here. Alright, gotta retreat. Oh, I did not build storage. Crap. I do not have overcharge. That is not good at all. But I do have a bunch of point defense to back me up, so hopefully we'll be able to do well. Alright, Chrono Dampener ACU is officially the most annoying thing that we have encountered this week. Yeah, Chrono Dampener ACU plus the combat upgraded Seraphim Commander. Yeah, that's GG. Wow. Left side falling to the T1 bombers. There's enough units over here that technically we should be making a difference, but it's just not doing anything with all of the freaking damage happening. I'm going to try to get enough point defense down here to trap one of these commanders, but I don't know if it's going to happen. The one thing we do have working for us is that the Chrono Dampener commander is stunning his teammates' units as well, but I don't think that's going to do us any good, actually, and I'm dead. Yay! Wow. Okay, and for those of you who are curious about the naming mod, I see that Potato's over there asking about it. You can pick up a couple different variations of the naming mod in the mod vault. It's all automatic, and then if you want to customize what the naming mod names your units, you can open Notepad, open the mod file in Notepad, and it's pretty self-explanatory how everything works, and basically you can pull names out of the brackets and enter your own names if you wish. And then I think it's Ithless naming mod. It actually cycles through different themes as you enter games. Like one game it'll oh no, that's the SACU naming mod. One game you enter, it'll name them all after Lord of the Rings characters. Like your SACUs will be wandering around named Boromir and Thorin and all that kind of stuff. And then it might go after Marvel and DC characters, or it might go after a clan of players or whatever. So some of them can get pretty interesting. This right here, though, this combination is kind of overpowered. I think the only way we could have overcome this is if we'd laid down just massive T2 point defense emplacements like I did. You can see I got all of that stuff down, and the commander just went around and killed my teammate and then came up that way. So, yeah. And no, Cybern wouldn't have eaten those 2 ACUs for breakfast. This is one time I can say that. Cerberus turrets are too weak to put up that much of a fight, and Manta Spam would have been useless versus a pair of commanders. So, yeah, that was just not ideal. Not ideal at all. They had 2 players working together, and we had 4 people divided. And that is pretty much a recipe for defeat. And the Chrono Dampener ACU actually hurts you if your teammate isn't giving their units to you, because your Chrono Dampener stuns all land units not owned by you when it goes off. So basically, whoever the Aeon player is, you need to give all of your units to them so they don't continually stay stunned for maximum damage potential. Stealth plus hoplites plus mobile missile launchers works not in a hectic team game like this. Like, you have to be able to set up stealth traps. It works when you have lanes or when you have a 1 versus 1 or maybe 2 versus 2 situation. But when the entire playing field is chaos and you have multiple ACUs working together, it is very, very, very hard to get hoplites and stealth lapped together properly to take an ACU out. And then I believe the Chrono Dampener's stun range actually encapsulates, unless you're at the maximum possible range, it'll stun the hoplites. So I guess theoretically it could work, but I don't see it working very well. All right, that's going to wrap up the stream. That is our hour and a half, just about on the dot. So I'm going to log out of here. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. And do not forget, Loki 3 versus 3, new map to play. Go ahead and host up some of those. Shoot me your replays if you have any good ones, and I'll pick one of the better ones and showcase it next week. And then we'll have a game on it. We'll see you guys then. Adios.